What's up, cool people? How's everybody doing? Welcome to a Thursday morning kind of recording session live stream thing. Um, I still don't know what to officially call these, but that's basically what's going on here. Going to be doing the usual, kicking off with some Bible study, more specifically, a couple of chapters in Judges. And then after that, I'll be hopping on Assassin's Creed, trying to get that wrapped up before I, dive headlong into the Kingdom Hearts series. And I think I'm on the last round of like assassination missions in there. So there should at least be, I should be wrapping up the game somewhat soon, like over the next few weeks. Um, if it keeps going at the rate that it's been going, it'll probably take at least 3 more. Because I'm guessing, there's a third round of missions in each of the main city locations. And I'm just getting to the first one of those. So, yeah. I mean, unless some of it goes really quickly, and or the last mission is more or less than what I'm thinking it'll be, it should be about 3 weeks before I wrap up Assassin's Creed, which, funny enough, will pretty much take me through the rest of February. And then, the next live stream I do in March is when I'll be kicking off Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, okay. Enough about all that stuff. I just gotta rearrange a couple of little windows here before I get to Bible study stuff. Pretty much doing this just so I can actually have, stream chats and whatnot available while I'm also simultaneously taking up an entire window or like an entire screen in my setup with the Bible study. Anyway, all right. That should pretty much be all good to go now. So then we switch over to this. At some point or another, I would like to figure out how to get the, stream chat showing within the actual live stream window itself. Although the trouble is I'm streaming to 2 different places and I'm not using Restream or anything like that would consolidate it all into one. So that could be rather difficult. But anyway, something that would be nice, but not entirely necessary. Anyway. So, like I said, we're going to start off with some Bible study on Judges, well, specifically Judges 9 and 10. And I better not get talking too much before I dive into this because chapter 9's, not that, chapter 9 is a bit on the long side of things. 57 verses? Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So, without further ado, I suppose, here we go. All right. So, looking at Judges chapter 9, so Israel, is living in the promised land, but this is also before they had any kings established or anything like that. And they're just going through this constant cycle of falling away from God, some other king taking over, asking God for someone to rescue them. He does. Then they follow God for a little while, and then shortly thereafter turn away again. We've looked at about 5 of the judges thus far. Gideon took up the past 3 chapters. So this is going to be what comes right after his story. And it's said at the end of, his time as judge that pretty much immediately afterwards, like after he died, the people turned to other gods. So, then we get to chapter 9 here. So here we go. One day, Gideon's son Abimelech went to Shechem to visit his uncles, his mother's brothers. He said to them and to the rest of his mother's family, "Ask the leading citizens of Shechem whether they want to be ruled by all 70 of Gideon's sons or by one man. And remember that I am your own flesh and blood." So Abimelech's uncles gave his message to all the citizens of Shechem on his behalf. And after listening to this proposal, the people of Shechem decided in favor of Abimelech because he was their relative. They gave him 70 silver coins from the temple of Baal-berith, which he used to hire some reckless troublemakers who agreed to follow him. He went to his father's home at Ophrah, and there, on one stone, they killed all 70 of his half-brothers, the sons of Gideon. But the youngest brother, Jotham, escaped and hid. Then all the leading citizens of Shechem at Beth Millo called a meeting under the oak beside the pillar at Shechem and made Abimelech their king. Okay. So there was, I believe, mention of Abimelech specifically in the past chapter, about him being one of Gideon's sons. I believe there was also mention of Gideon having 70 wives. So, thus, 70 sons of Gideon as well. Which, good grief, talk about complicated family dynamics. But, so, Abimelech basically is asking if the people of Shechem want to be ruled by one person or by 70. Now, obviously, being ruled by 70 people is generally not going to work well. I mean, you've got 70 different people, all with their different views on things and different personalities and whatnot. They might not even necessarily get along with each other. How are you possibly going to be ruled in any sort of decent way by all 70 of these men? It's not going to happen. So, while his idea of, consolidating rule under one person isn't so bad, he decides the way to go about it is just to kill all of his other half-brothers. All the other sons of Gideon. Except one got away. That's not so great. But, I mean, I'm not excusing it. I am also thinking, though, that, getting all the others to agree to appoint him as ruler probably wouldn't happen. So, after all the other half-brothers are dead, people of Shechem made Abimelech their king, which the Israelites weren't even supposed to have kings. But, anyway, God actually said he didn't want them to have a king because, he wanted them to, think of God himself as their king, the one, ruling over them and deciding how they should live. But anyway, footnotes. The Hebrew says Jerubbaal. That was just another name for Gideon as discussed in his sort of story. Part of what got him in the public eye, so to speak, was tearing down a statue of Baal. So that's why the whole Jerubbaal name became associated with Gideon. Also says that they're at the second footnote. Third footnote, though, says the meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain right at the word pillar. But it was some kind of notable landmark, I guess, is really the main thing that we need to know there. Because otherwise, how are they all going to know where to meet? Anyway. Then we get to verse 7. I'm probably going to do this whole, like, section here that's outlined or, like, spaced kind of differently. Anyway. Okay, verse 7. When Jotham heard about this, he climbed to the top of Mount Gerizim and shouted, "Listen to me, citizens of Shechem. Listen to me if you want God to listen to you. Once upon a time, the trees decided to choose a king. First, they said to the olive tree, 'Be our king.' But the olive tree refused, saying, 'Should I quit producing the olive oil that blesses both God and people, just to wave back and forth over the trees?' Then they said to the fig tree, 'You be our king.' But the fig tree also refused, saying, 'Should I quit producing my sweet fruit, just to wave back and forth over the trees?' Then they said to the grapevine, 'You be our king.' But the grapevine also refused, saying, 'Should I quit producing the wine that cheers both God and people, just to wave back and forth over the trees?' Then all the trees finally turned to the thorn bush and said, 'Come, you be our king.' And the thorn bush replied to the trees, 'If you truly want to make me your king, come and take shelter in my shade. If not, let fire come out from me and devour the cedars of Lebanon.'" Okay, so I assume this is supposed to be some tree-based allegory or something like that for what's been going on in Shechem. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to represent. We might get into that in some of the later verses here. But needless to say, I think he's trying to, call out that because of Shechem's desire for a king, they've gotten themselves into a bad spot. But perhaps I should just continue along, and then we'll get more detail. I'm just double checking there were no footnotes in there. Nope. Okay. Let me get a quick sip of water. Alrighty. So, verse 16. Jotham continued, "Now make sure you have acted honorably and in good faith by making Abimelech your king, and that you have done right by Gideon and all of his descendants. Have you treated him with the honor he deserves for all he accomplished? For he fought for you and risked his life when he rescued you from the Midianites. But today you have revolted against my father and his descendants, killing his 70 sons on one stone. And you have chosen his slave woman's son, Abimelech, to be your king, just because he is your relative. If you have acted honorably and in good faith toward Gideon and his descendants today, then may you find joy in Abimelech, and may he find joy in you. But if you have not acted in good faith, then may fire come out from Abimelech and devour the leading citizens of Shechem and Beth Millo. And may fire come out from the citizens of Shechem and Beth Millo and devour Abimelech." Then Jotham escaped and lived in Beer because he was afraid of his brother Abimelech. So I guess the tree allegory thing was, I guess, maybe what he was wishing upon them. This might have also been, considered a curse of a sort. But yeah, I guess the thing was, now I don't know if this, if all these prior iterations of the trees collectively asking different trees to be their king was, representative of Shechem possibly asking certain other people to be their king before what happened with Abimelech. But that seems the most likely case to me. Either way, um, the thorn bush would obviously be like kind of the least, or maybe I should word it this way. The thorn bush would kind of be like the worst option out of all these. It's the least tree-like, and there's really not much of anything good that comes out of a thorn bush, at least not that most people are aware of. But like all these other ones, the olive tree producing oil and probably olives, and the fig tree producing fruit, the grapevine making grapes for wine and such. The thorn bush, it doesn't mention anything that it produces. So he's definitely equating Abimelech with the thorn bush here, and essentially saying that, similar to the thorn bush's request of all the rest of them taking shelter in his shade, that sounds to me almost like Abimelech and his action of essentially bringing all the other sons of Gideon low, quite literally, by killing them. Doesn't get much lower than in the ground, which would be similar to what the other trees would have to do. They would have to bring themselves down to the thorn bush's level in order to get under its shade. And if that can't or doesn't really happen, then Jotham's curse kind of comes into play, where it's like, well, if this doesn't happen, or like it doesn't go well, then may you all devour each other in fire. Anyway, so that's my best estimation of what the whole tree allegory thing is supposed to represent, at least in a general sense. Anyway, so there's still a lot of chapter left to go. Let me continue on to verse 22. After Abimelech had ruled over Israel for 3 years, God sent a spirit that stirred up trouble between Abimelech and the leading citizens of Shechem, and they revolted. God was punishing Abimelech for murdering Gideon's 70 sons, and the citizens of Shechem for supporting him in this treachery of murdering his brothers. The citizens of Shechem set an ambush for Abimelech on the hilltops and robbed everyone who passed that way. But someone warned Abimelech about their plot. Okay, so 3 years later, there was some tension between Abimelech and the other sort of leaders of Shechem. They set a trap for him, but he gets warned. Need another sip of water here. Hey, Dark Ragna 84, thanks for the follow. Anyway, okay. So, trap is set for Abimelech. He is warned about it. Then verse 26. One day Gaal, son of Ebed, moved to Shechem with his brothers and gained the confidence of the leading citizens of Shechem. During the annual harvest festival at Shechem, held in the temple of the local god, the wine flowed freely, and everyone began cursing Abimelech. "Who is Abimelech?" Gaal shouted. "He's not a true son of Shechem, so why should we be his servants? He's merely the son of Gideon, and this Zebul is merely his deputy. Serve the true sons of Hamor, the founder of Shechem. Why should we serve Abimelech? If I were in charge here, I would get rid of Abimelech. I would say to him, get some soldiers and come out and fight. But when Zebul, the leader of the city, heard what Gaal was saying, he was furious. He sent messengers to Abimelech in Aramah, telling him, Gaal, son of Ebed, and his brothers have come to live in Shechem, and now they are inciting the city to rebel against you. Come by night with an army and hide out in the fields. In the morning, as soon as it is daylight, attack the city. When Gaal and those who are with him come out against you, you can do with them as you wish. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a sec. So somebody else moved in, gained some favor with, it says the leading citizens, so they didn't necessarily have official positions, maybe. They might have, but basically just well-known and or highly respected people of Shechem. And, okay, so the whole claim of Abimelech not being a true son of Shechem, I don't know if that's specifically a reference to, him being the son of one of Gideon's, slave women or whatever, but, or it could also be because he's not a son. I'm not sure who Hamor is in this, but apparently he's the founder of Shechem, and so maybe rather than just having a leader based on kind of the most recent rescuer of the people, Ebed might be suggesting they kind of go back to their roots, so to speak. That's kind of the vibe I get from this. But in any case, obviously he wants to get rid of Abimelech, and so his threat, whether hypothetical or not, winds up making it to Abimelech's ears, kind of through Zebul, and so now they've prepared an attack. Ebed wanted to fight, and it looks like he's going to get one. I'm going to check the footnotes here before I move along. The Hebrew says, who is Shechem? Rather than saying that he's not a true son of Shechem. But I still think that's more so like a callback to their founding their roots as Shechem, rather than looking to, a son of Gideon specifically. Footnote here. Hebrew reads, and he said. Okay, so rather than still being within the hypothetical, if I were in charge, I would say this. It might have been that he outright, or going by the Hebrew, it would read more like he just outright said to, I guess possibly to Zebul or Abimelech or whoever, to get some soldiers and fight him. Also footnote there. The Hebrew reads in Torma rather than in Aramah, but I guess either way it might roughly be translated in secret. So it would then read, he sent messengers to Abimelech in secret, which isn't too surprising. You don't want to make it super public that you're planning a surprise attack. Anyway, okay. Moving along, verse 34. So Abimelech and all his men went by night and split into 4 groups, stationing themselves around Shechem. Gael was standing at the city gates when Abimelech and his army came out of hiding. When Gael saw them, he said to Zebul, "Look, there are people coming down from the hilltops." Zebul replied, "It's just the shadows on the hills that look like men." But again Gael said, "No, people are coming down from the hills, and another group is coming down the road past the diviner's oak." Then Zebul turned on him and asked, "Now where is that big mouth of yours? Wasn't it you that said, 'Who is Abimelech, and why should we be his servants?' The men you mocked are right outside the city. Go out and fight them." Okay. So, yeah, it looks like Zebul's getting the fight he asked for. Even though he was skeptical of the report at first. Checking footnotes here. There was one before that, I thought. Where is footnote G? There we go. Okay. So rather than saying, no, people are coming down from the hills, it could be people are coming down from the center of the land. But if there were hills in the middle of the land, then it would be the same thing, I guess. But I guess saying here that people are coming down from the hills is more consistent with, the other statements that are made before, like looking at the hilltops, Zebul saying it's just shadows on the hills. I guess the whole center of the land thing would kind of distinguish that, like, no, this isn't just some trick that the hills are playing on my eyes. Like, let's shift our focus away from the hills. No, there are people coming. And then there's another group coming down the road past Diviner's Oak has a footnote. The Hebrew, I guess, is Elon Meonanim? Something like that. Elon Meonanim. Which is just the Hebrew name of, I guess, Diviner's Oak. I don't know if it translates directly, but different names, same place. Okay. Okay, right. Zebul was the one who reported to Abimelech about... Okay, Gael was the one that made all those claims before. Sorry, I was saying Ebed. Gael is the son of Ebed. So, Gael is kind of surprised to see these people coming upon the city ready to attack. But then Zebul, who heard all of his initial claims, is like, well, that's what you get. You said you wanted to fight, and now you're getting one. Of course, he was also kind of responsible for making the fight happen the way that it's about to. But anyway, I digress. Okay, verse 39. So Gael led the leading citizens of Shechem into battle against Abimelech. But Abimelech chased him, and many of Shechem's men were wounded and fell along the road as they retreated to the city gate. Abimelech returned to Arumah, and Zebul drove Gael and his brothers out of Shechem. The next day the people of Shechem went out into the fields to battle. When Abimelech heard about it, he divided his men into 3 groups and set an ambush in the fields. When Abimelech saw the people coming out of the city, he and his men jumped up from their hiding places and attacked them. Abimelech and his group stormed the city gate to keep the men of Shechem from getting back in, while Abimelech's other 2 groups cut them down in the fields. The battle went on all day before Abimelech finally captured the city. He killed the people, leveled the city, and scattered salt all over the ground. Okay, so I gotta say, while there isn't literal fire going on here, this is definitely a way that the people would be sort of devouring themselves. Seemingly Abimelech against, the other people of Shechem and vice versa. Pretty much falling in line with Jotham's curse, or whatever you want to call that. So basically there was more fighting, and at this point Abimelech has just completely torn down the city. And of course lots of people dying in the midst of all that. And then we get to verse 46. When the leading citizens who lived in the tower of Shechem heard what had happened, they ran and hid in the temple of Baal-berith. Someone reported to Abimelech that the citizens had gathered in the temple, so he led his forces to Mount Zalmon. He took an axe and chopped some branches from a tree, then put them on his shoulder. "Quick, do as I have done," he told his men. So each of them cut down some branches, following Abimelech's example. They piled the branches against the walls of the temple and set them on fire. So all the people who had lived in the Tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. Well, there's the literal fire coming into play. I wasn't sure if the fire was going to be literal or not. But yeah, turns out, very literal fire. Pretty much just because the people, or a bunch of the people, had sort of blocked themselves off in a specific tower building thing. And with it potentially being difficult to otherwise get in there, Abimelech's just like, all right, you know what? Rather than go in there and try and, just physically fight the people in this enclosed space, let's just burn it down. So they gather a bunch of wood, set it around the tower thing, and set the wood on fire. And I don't know if that necessarily causes the place to collapse, but apparently the fire spreads well enough. I don't know if well is a good word given this situation, but fire spreads enough that it winds up killing everybody inside. Also, Hebrews says El-berith, which is another name for Baal-berith. Okay, I could go on a bit of a tangent related to that. I'm going to save that for, stream exclusive stuff when I'm not specifically recording. Maybe it'll come up as some other additional video later, but I digress. So the people living in the tower ran and hid at the temple, and then the temple got burned down. Anyway, then we get to verse 50. Then Abimelech attacked the town of Thebes and captured it. But there was a strong tower inside the town, and all the men and women, the entire population, fled to it. They barricaded themselves in and climbed up to the roof of the tower. Abimelech followed them to attack the tower, but as he prepared to set fire to the entrance, a woman on the roof dropped a millstone that landed on Abimelech's head and crushed his skull. He quickly said to his young armor-bearer, "Draw your sword and kill me. Don't let it be said that a woman killed Abimelech." So the young man ran him through with his sword, and he died. When Abimelech's men saw that he was dead, they disbanded and returned to their homes. In this way, God punished Abimelech for the evil he had done against his father by murdering his 70 brothers. God also punished the men of Shechem for all their evil. So the curse of Jotham, son of Gideon, was fulfilled. Yeah, that is a heck of a way for that to be fulfilled. But, if you're taking control through violence, it really shouldn't be surprising that he would then lose control through violence. And really, it was, okay, started as a bit of not even necessarily a full-on revolt at first. It was just like grumblings and complainings about Abimelech. But then, there was somewhat of a threat posed, and then Abimelech answered the threat, and so the fighting ensued. Also, this whole situation that happened in this town, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be pronounced Thebes or Thebes or whatever. I'm going with Thebes. That sounds quite a bit like what had happened previously in Shechem at that tower. Except this time, somebody dropped a big old stone from the top of the tower, and it happened to land on Abimelech. Now, how exactly he was still able to say anything after his skull getting crushed, I don't know. But, in any case, he died. And then after he died, the men who were with him, possibly just following him out of fear or some semblance of loyalty to him specifically, they just kind of decided, all right, well, our leader's gone. They might not have been sure that they actually wanted to do all this fighting, but they were doing it, again, out of either fear or some sort of loyalty or something. Or maybe they were getting paid, I don't know. But in any case, their motivation for fighting was gone. So I guess then the fighting stopped, maybe. Either that or we will read more about it in the next chapter. But in any case, that does it for what I'm going to say officially in a recorded video about Chapter 9 of Judges. Okay, but now, tangent specifically for live stream, after I get a sip of water. So, the Hebrew saying El-Berith here, instead of Baal-Berith. Like, we read Baal nowadays, and pretty much anybody who has read much Bible or is a Christian sees Baal and thinks, all right, well, that was some other god besides the Lord, the God of Israel. But El was, I believe El in Hebrew basically translated God, not necessarily the Lord. So it could be, little g God in a sense, meaning this would be the god of Berith. But El was also used a lot in reference to the Lord and his specific qualities. So you might hear him referred to as, Elohim, or I'm trying to think of others. But in any case, so again, maybe it's just so that El was sort of the Hebrew word for God, generally speaking, whether the Lord or a different God. I do wonder, though, because nearly every, well, not nearly every, but a lot of different other gods that they turn to and start worshiping instead of the Lord wind up being called Baal something or other. So again, it could just be a generic, okay, God, the god of that region that otherwise has no known name. Or it could have just been some sort of other idol that might have been, meant as a symbol of the Lord, but then it got turned into an idol, so to speak. I lean more towards the former theory than the latter. I'm just saying, though, that, like, with the use of El there, it makes it a slightly more complex issue. Like, in short, Baal wasn't necessarily just one particular other god that had multiple variants among the other people groups. Baal was actually probably more so a generic term for just other gods that didn't really have another name. And or, if it wasn't just a generic term for that, then it was likely, people making statues, idols, or whatever in an attempt to, visually represent the Lord, but then they wind up worshiping, the idol, the image, instead of the Lord himself. Which would be part of the reason why, the Lord told Israel not to make idols for themselves out of anything like that. Okay, I'm like, look at what's behind me in the camera view. I don't know why I didn't realize until just now that, like, that little step thing there was within the view of the camera, but whatever. Not a big deal. All right, anyway. Tangent on the whole El-Berith versus Baal-Berith, or Baal-Berith, whatever. The tangent on that over. Moving on to the next chapter. Okay. Chapter 10 is quite a bit shorter. So, perhaps I will not absolutely wreck my voice before getting into the gaming portion of the stream. Okay. Here we go. All right. Judges chapter 10. Last chapter, there was a whole big deal with, one of Gideon's sons named Abimelech basically taking control of Israel, or at least Shechem, and doing so rather violently. And then a few years later, there's a rebellion against him, lots of fighting, and he winds up getting killed in the midst of all that infighting. Basically, bring about the, a curse that was pronounced upon him by one of his half-brothers, basically the only one who seemed to survive. So, yeah, in the fallout of all that, I guess, is where we get to chapter 10 here. After Abimelech died, Tola, son of Puah, son of Dodo, was the next person to rescue Israel. He was from the tribe of Issachar, but lived in the town of Shamir in the hill country of Ephraim. He judged Israel for 23 years. When he died, he was buried in Shamir. Okay. Not a whole lot to say there, just that was the next person who was judge, and it doesn't even say who he rescued them from. It just said Tola was the judge, he rescued them. He served as judge for 23 years and then died. Sometimes they don't have, like, the big, broader stories on these. It makes me wonder why, just a little bit. Like, were these other situations that are explained with more detail really that much more grand than the ones that are kind of getting glossed over here. Eh. Either that or there's just not as much of a record kept because the story wasn't told as often or something. I don't know. But anyway, not much else to say on that since there's not much there. So, verse 3. After Tola died, Jair from Gilead judged Israel for 22 years. His 30 sons rode around on 30 donkeys, and they owned 30 towns in the land of Gilead, which are still called the towns of Jair. When Jair died, he was buried in Camon. And that's all that it says about him. At least it added the detail that he had 30 sons riding on 30 donkeys and owned 30 towns, which still isn't even half the number of sons that Gideon had. Still ridiculous, though. At least from this, from our modern day perspective, that seems kind of ridiculous. I'm not excusing it or saying that it was fine back then. It was a bit more common, though, maybe. Well, I mean, apparently, if within only 2 generations of each other, you have someone who had 70 sons and then another person who had 30. Anywho, footnote, Hebrew says Havoth Jair instead of saying the towns were called the towns of Jair. That's probably more so the translation of Havoth Jair. Okay. Then we get to verse 6, and apparently something that gets explained in a little more detail. Again, the Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight. They served the images of Baal and Ashtoreth, and the gods of Aram, Sidon, Moab, Ammon, and Philistia. They abandoned the Lord and no longer served him at all. So the Lord burned with anger against Israel, and he turned them over to the Philistines and the Ammonites, who began to oppress them that year. For 18 years, they oppressed all the Israelites east of the Jordan River in the land of the Amorites, that is, in Gilead. The Amorites also crossed to the west side of the Jordan and attacked Judah, Benjamin, and Ephraim. The Israelites were in great distress. Finally, they cried out to the Lord for help, saying, "We have sinned against you because we have abandoned you as our God and have served the images of Baal." Okay, pausing there real quick. So, primarily, the Philistines and Ammonites took control of, one side, or at least took control of Israel on one side of the Jordan River. That was the side that had been conquered by the Israelites before crossing over. So this was not the side that had, like, Jericho and basically a lot of what the Philistines and Ammonites ruled over in this situation was what had been conquered while Moses was still leading the people, not Joshua. However, they did also cross to the other side and apparently attacked Judah, Benjamin, and Ephraim. Attacked, not necessarily conquered, though. Judah, based on previous verses and what happened in those, Judah probably would have been the most difficult to conquer, as they seemed to have the most successful conquests themselves out of all the tribes of Israel. But, I mean, I'm thinking these tribes would have been the first 3 that they would have likely come across or, encountered after crossing the Jordan River. So anyway, all this is happening. The Israelites are in a bad spot. And then, of course, they realize they did wrong and they cry out to God for help. So, then verse 11. The Lord replied, "Did I not rescue you from the Egyptians, the Amorites, the Ammonites, the Philistines, the Sidonians, the Amalekites, and the Maonites? Why then, when they oppressed you, you cried out to me for help, and I rescued you. Yet you have abandoned me and served other gods. So I will not rescue you anymore. Go and cry out to the gods you have chosen. Let them rescue you in your hour of distress." So, the people recognize that they turned against him, but I guess they turned so far against him and to all these other gods that the Lord basically says, like, I did all this stuff for you before, and yet you turned away from me. Why should I help you now? You're probably just going to turn away from me again. Cry out to these other gods of yours that you have been worshiping. Let them help you. Also, really not sure about the pronunciation on that. Could be maybe like Maonites? That might be a bit... Because I say Mayonites and it makes me think mayonnaise, which... Anyway, so Maonites. We'll go with that as the pronunciation now. But then, of course, that makes me think of like China because of Mao Zedong. And anyway, this is the problem with having so many references and things that just stay in your brain for no good reason. Darn you, education system, for, implanting that as like the primary method of learning and testing knowledge is just like sheer memorization of random things. Even though that's not necessarily the only way to learn things. Anywho, I digress. I seem a little more prone towards some of these tangents when I'm reading through a shorter chapter. Or maybe not, I don't know. I feel like I have more time to do so when I'm reading a shorter chapter, though. Anywho, okay. So God basically replies with, nope, get somebody else to help you. After, the Israelites asked him for help. And then we get to verse 15. But the Israelites pleaded with the Lord and said, "We have sinned. Punish us as you see fit. Only rescue us today from our enemies." Then the Israelites put aside their foreign gods and served the Lord, and he was grieved by their misery. At that time, the armies of Ammon had gathered for war and were camped in Gilead, and the people of Israel assembled and camped at Mizpah. The leaders of Gilead said to each other, "Whoever attacks the Ammonites first will become ruler over all the people of Gilead." And that's where the chapter ends. That seems like kind of an odd spot to end the chapter. Unless maybe the next chapter it's going to get into, like, sort of the story of a particular person and them becoming judge. But, yeah, so they're all getting ready to fight now, but the fight hasn't actually happened yet. In any case, the Israelites, more fervently turn away from the other gods, start worshiping the Lord again, and then, the Lord kind of, has renewed sympathy for them. So at that point, it seems like, so then the people of Israel assembled at Mizpah to, I guess, counter the attack of the Ammonites who are camped out at Gilead. And yeah, we'll just have to wait until chapter 11 to see what becomes of that situation. But that I guess does it for chapter 10. I don't really have any other thoughts. I gotta say, that is quite a number of different gods that the people turned towards. So perhaps it was because there were so many other gods, and it wasn't even like there was one that came to the forefront. So it kind of almost gave the impression that they would turn to basically any other god, as they thought all these other gods were more worthy of their worship than the Lord. So that could have also fed a little bit into the Lord's initial response to their cries for help. It's like, well, clearly you have so many other options, so why not ask one of them for help? It seems a bit more human of a response from the Lord than we would tend to think of. But, it is stated within the Bible that God is a jealous God. So, I guess maybe with that knowledge, it's a little less surprising. But anyway, okay. Now, officially, no more thoughts on chapter 10. Okay, so what even is coming up in the next chapter? Okay. So I guess maybe this whole situation in chapter 10 leads into Jephthah becoming Israel's judge. And that takes at least 2 chapters. Oh, and then we get into Samson. Anyway. Oh, and I guess we're almost halfway done with Judges. Depending on the length of some of those chapters near the end, I might do 3 in 1 week. That would also maybe help me catch up with the slight little bit ahead that I got in the video game recordings, because I was just kind of eager to finish up the one EDF game the 1 week. Anyway, okay. So let me go ahead and start loading up Assassin's Creed. Then I'll shift over to that scene while I adjust my setup here. And then we will get into that portion of the live stream. So, alright. Starting to load the game. Go to this scene. Alright, I'm going to be muted for a sec while I shift things around. Okay, so not gonna lie, I kind of forgot how quiet I had my TV before getting into this. It's just because I was playing a different game that tends to be louder. It's still a bit of a bummer that none of the achievements are saving. I wonder, like... So the vast majority of the games that I have are just downloads associated with my, Xbox Live account. So I should, in theory, if I, say, upgraded to a newer generation of console, either of the Xbox Series options, I should, in theory, be able to just download them again and, be able to play on that console, possibly then actually saving achievements and whatnot, and not encountering these problems that I'm currently having with the, cloud save stuff. But it's not a big enough problem that it is convincing me to upgrade just yet. Now, if I end up finding out at any point that, Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be, exclusive to that gen or something, then I might, might be prompted to, make the switch. Of course, there's some question as to whether or not Kingdom Hearts 4 is even going to be on Xbox. That'd be an absolutely just... that would bother me so much if Square Enix decided to make the move of that being PlayStation exclusive after Kingdom Hearts 3 was, cross-platform. That would just be so annoying. I definitely would not like the idea of getting a PS5 purely for that reason. But that's like the one game series that would possibly convince me to do so. So far, the main numbered entry... Well... because Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were technically PlayStation exclusive. So, I don't know. Then again, Xbox was not, back then, what it is today within the gaming scene. Anywho, I digress. About time to actually get started with this here. So, I am pretty sure that I am... Yeah, okay. So I'm back in Damascus for the third time. Kicking off the third round of assassination missions. Let's hop in and see what happens. Alrighty. So, we're at the Assassin's Bureau in Damascus. I did wind up doing some viewpoints and some other things within at least the poor district of Damascus. Partially because I had some time to kill in a live stream and wanted to do some more stuff to add another bar to the sync meter in the top left there. I'm at 18 at this point. But we're now in round 3 of the assassination missions, so things might be getting even tougher.
It's the hero of Damas. Come in, stay a while. Tell me all about your adventures.
I'm afraid I don't have the time.
I see. Too important for me now.
It's not that.
No, of course not. How may I serve you then?
Al-Muallim has asked I take the life of the one they call Jubair.
Ah, Salahadin's chief scholar. Strange choice of target in my opinion. But who are we to question the master's will? I'm sure he has his reasons.
Then you're familiar with the man.
He's been quite busy these past few days, organizing the scholars and sending them into the streets to preach.
What do they speak of?
Light and fire, cleansing sins, apocalyptic nonsense if you ask me. All this talk of paths and a new world.
What about this new world?
Couldn't say. I don't pay attention to the ramblings of madmen. Much too busy with real work.
Very well. I'll walk among the people, see what I can learn. Where would you suggest I search?
South of here, you'll find an academy and a guard tower. They're both good places to search. There's also a hospital to the east you might want to visit.
I'll begin at once.
Well,
So eager. You've certainly changed, and for the better, I might add.
I guess since I don't automatically have viewpoints available within, you know, the district I'm heading to, maybe that's why it gives you suggestions for where to look. But at least this time I'm not guessing, you know, which direction I need to go in. So I'm just heading somewhere in a general that direction. And that'll get me into the correct district. Sorry. Sorry, just trying to get through. Not wanting to cause trouble here. Okay, you know what? Maybe I should go along the rooftops. So I'm not trying to, you know, maneuver around the people the whole time. Part of the problem with going along the rooftops is that the guards seem inherently more suspicious. Okay, so there's that. Am I actually... Okay, yeah, I'm in the district I want to be in, and there's a viewpoint. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for that. Ouch. Well, shoot. Now it looks like I've gotten myself into a fight here. Ah, crud. Okay. Doggone it. I'm rarely ever ready for the grab. Okay, really? Okay, that one's dead. No, go away. At some point I should try the whole, like, guard break thing. I don't think I've really been using that enough since I gained that ability. Okay. So I'm not sure why this district seems to be the one with the heaviest amount, or the densest concentration of guards, let's just say. But anywho. All this just because I was not able to parkour very well between two particular buildings. I mean, this is still less frustrating to me than the whole trying to climb up a building and it seeming really difficult. Just by nature of attempting to do that. No. No. Go away. Why does it seem like I'm never able to recover my guard after I fail to counterattack? Okay, good grief. All I wanted to do was climb up this building. Is there even a decent way to climb up it directly? Seemingly not. Seems I might need to climb a different building adjacent to it first. No, really? That was absolutely stupid. Why in the world would the game ever think I would want to do that? Oh, sure. I get a little closer to the corner and it lets me go all the way up. Okay. So, I would hope I can just jump across here and then be kind of good to go. Except I need to find the specific side of this that's actually climbable. See, it's not as dark here as it was at that one other... Yeah, it's not as dark here as it was at that one other viewpoint. That makes it a lot easier to find where I need to actually climb up. Not sure why the game decided that one portion of Acker needed to, you know, just be so dull and dreary and dark like that. Okay.
What happened here?
Nothing related to the man currently in the hay.
Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. God almighty.
Save citizen. Okay. What the... I tried to lock on to them, and it had me disengage. Wow. 2 extra hits on the one guy didn't bring him down? Also, come on, really? The slow-moving enemy attacks really trips me up sometimes when I'm trying to, you know, counter them.
You came along when you did. Another minute and they would have made off with me. I owe you my freedom, sir.
The freaking camera angle kept me there longer than I wanted to be and basically got me in trouble again. Didn't realize until I saw it from that angle that he was basically trying to freaking clothesline some dudes. Okay, tell you what, let me disengage, climb up here, see if I can maybe get away, or at least get somewhere else. And I'm totally moving away from the objective that I've set for myself. That's lovely. Okay, he did. Tell you what, let me try actually working towards my objective now. I'll hop in here to become anonymous again.
You've chosen the wrong side.
Okay. Now then.
Leave, peasant, before I make
Not really looking for trouble right now. Just trying to make my way across the rooftops to get to a certain spot. I'm like, this guy's gonna be a problem though if I don't kill him. Okay, goodbye. You see, if I kill him up on the rooftops, then that doesn't draw a crowd, and then it winds up potentially being, you know, less of an issue. Alright, what would be the preferred way to get down? Not that, but whatever. Alright, where is my pickpocketing target here?
Please, I must go. This letter must be delivered, and I cannot risk upsetting him.
Listen to yourself. You are his puppet. Give up this task and join us in our fight.
No. I have a wife and child to think of.
Which is exactly why I've come to you. Is this the kind of world you want your son brought up in?
It will pass. If we just wait, he'll stop, and everything will go back to normal.
Every day, more is lost, and no way to reclaim what's taken. There will be no going back. You know this to be true.
Enough. I am leaving.
Alright, so that's the dude I gotta try and pickpocket from. Really?
dirty thief! Out of the way! Out of the way! Get him! Get him!
What the? Okay, you serious? Also, why was the dude not moving anywhere and just looking around? You. Okay. Reinitializing. Well, maybe I should get away from there for a little while so I'm not automatically suspicious. Really? Just climbing up a ladder gets me in trouble? Why though?
Get here! I'll get you!
Doggone it. Please let me go out a different side, thank you. Jeez, I've gotten all the way back into a different district. Just running away from these dudes. Ugh.
Well done.
Okay, why do they have to make the pickpocketing so just convoluted? I mean, in all actuality, it should be even more difficult than it is in here. But, like...
They're stealing my presents? That will cost you your life!
Okay. Hopefully gonna be able to just, you know, calmly, reasonably walk over to the general area of the person I have to pickpocket. Also, why did the dude have to turn in my direction literally the moment I was about to, you know, pick his pocket? Save citizen. Oh, fine. Since it's along the way.
تمهل.
No, Fooey. No. Go away. No. You go away. Combat does seem to be a little bit more difficult than it has been before. They seem to be placing more guards near me when I get into these situations. Seriously, I've already killed like 5 of these guards. Why are there still 5 more? Oh my gosh, and there are even more coming at me. And now the combat's getting a little messed up because of people being at different elevations, and this was not how I planned on, you know, making my way through this. But like, this seems to be the far easier option than attempting to run away from all these guys. Okay, for real though, I did the whole, like, guard break thing, and it didn't work. Why? No. Let go of me. Okay. Good grief. Okay, there's the citizen that I saved.
Praise God, you've saved me. All the city will know of your sacrifice.
That was a lot of effort to save one person. Hey. Got vigilantes. Alrighty. Now, trying to get back to the pickpocketing. You know, doing the stuff that actually allows me to gather information and progress the game. Anyway, sorry for the delay in responding to chat. How's it going? Gamer Control Mohammed. Yeah, I was quite focused on the game in that moment. Apologies. Okay. Oh, good. They're not making me redo the dialogue before the pickpocketing. Alright, this guy needs to actually maybe move somewhere. Okay. Finally, pickpocketing complete. Jubair is at Madrasa. Anyway. Alright. There's one investigation complete. And now I'm going to an informer. This could be either mini assassinations or flag collecting. Or both. Yeah, there we go. There's my informer. Okay, it's the flags. I prefer that, honestly.
I heard Jubair's elite want you dead. I was about to go after them, but my back is hurting too much. You should take care of them.
Sure, back's
We can have a
hurting.
quick talk about the things I know. Be fast, though. I am in pain.
Oh, no, this is assassinations. Great. Okay. I thought the one dude was really close, and then he moved further away. Oh, and there are 3 of them. Great. Where the heck is this one guy that I'm going after? Oh. Okay. And I'm about to just completely leave the map. Somehow. Is this the one guy? Nope. Seriously, where are these people? Why am I not... Are they not on the ground level? Maybe I didn't listen closely enough to my informant. Or informer. Whatever. Yeah, I can already tell I am not likely to complete this. Alright, well, in the meantime, random flag over here. Gonna go ahead and collect that. Okay, seriously, are these guys on the rooftops? Actually, it seems like that might be the case. Yep. Which should actually kind of make finding them a little bit easier, but also makes not getting caught a little more difficult. Is this one of the 3? No. Okay, that might be one of them. Nope, definitely not. Now I'm just going around killing random people. Okay.
There he goes! Stop him! I know you're hiding from me! Help here!
Okay. At least I know for sure one of my targets is on the rooftops. Got another flag in the meantime. What did I do that got y'all's attention so much? Come on. Reinitializing. Okay, let me try this again.
Altair, your name is on everybody's lips these days. Amongst the chatter on the market this morning, I heard Joubert's elite want you dead. I was about to go after them, but my back is hurting too much. You should take care of them. I'll wait for you here, and we can have a quick talk about the things I know. Be fast, though. I am in pain.
Okay, so there's somebody kind of over this way, but maybe they're on the rooftops, I don't know. Let me up, please. Let me up, please. That might be my one target right there. Okay, so yeah. And that's probably the one that I got before. Now I need to find the others. There's one. Seems to be just down here. What?
What? Who's done this? Tell me.
Crud. There was another regular guard right there. Like, where am I supposed to go to find just, you know, like, I don't know, secluded-ish spots to do these assassinations? Make up your mind. Are you gonna have people fight me or not? Also, that is a ton of bodies lining the road there. Or lining the road. What the? Who? Who's fighting me? You. Go away. Either have the guards fight me or don't have them fight me. Don't, like, keep waffling back and forth on it.
Your name is on everybody's lips these days. Amongst the chatter on the market this morning, I heard Joubert's elite want you dead. I was about to go after them, but my back is hurting too much. You should take care of them. I'll wait for you here, and we can have a quick talk about the things I know. Be fast, though. I am in pain.
Okay, so I found 2 of the targets.
What? Who's done this? Tell me.
So there's the one. Others, like, right over that way. It seems like there might actually kind of be 2 that hover around near here. I didn't even do anything to anyone there. It's gonna make me kill, like, all the flippin' guards in town before I can actually do this, huh? Or is that particular, you know, alley, street area just automatically suspicious because of how many bodies are there?
Amongst the chatter on the market this morning, I heard Joubert's
That's the
elite want you
only
dead.
logical
I was
explanation
about
I
to
can
go
come
after
up with for
them,
this.
But my back is hurting too much. You should take care of them. I'll wait for you here, and we can have a quick talk about the things I know. Be fast, though. I am in
Yeah.
pain.
This game could be a little faster in, you know, letting me skip the explanation that I've had to hear for, like, 4 different times now. So, how do I know which one of these people is specifically an assassination target and which one is not? Oh, knock it off. They put some of these people in here just to be annoying. Okay, there's one down.
I know you're here somewhere.
Come on. These guys are super freaking annoying. I wish they would not just put random people in here that push me for no good reason. Okay, this looks like another one of my targets. No, please, come on. Lady, I don't have money to give you. Ladies, plural. Please get out of my way.
Oh, please don't leave. Just a few coins.
I'm not...
please. I beg of you. I beg of you, just a few coins.
Seriously.
I have nothing.
They're trying to make this super annoying, aren't they? That's where the difficulty comes in now, I guess. Just adding other random people that get in your way and cause trouble. I see how this is going down now.
Pick the fight you cannot win. You do not want to fight here.
That's got to be what's going down here.
I should tell you. God curse the one who's done this. Where are you? Sheath your swords now!
It's like there's a bunch of commotion around me
Pick the fight you cannot
just
win.
because of what happened previously. Oh, why do I have my sword drawn? I don't want to have my sword drawn. Maybe that's part of it too. What? Merely being in this general vicinity makes me suspicious now, apparently.
On the market this morning, I heard Joubert's elite want you dead. I was about to go after them.
I realize that might be kind of realistic
You should take care of them.
in this type of scenario, but this is not a case where I want that level of realism.
I am in pain.
Where is the one responsible for this?
There's a murderer loose. These are dark days indeed.
Oh no, what happened?
And I can't even just be anywhere near it. Okay, I'm about to just go to a different district, see if that'll let me kind of reset things here. And then, you know, not inherently every 2 seconds be in so much trouble in this area.
Pay for your sins.
And of course, there's going to be one coward that decides to run away, maybe. Alright, I'm running elsewhere. But of course, I can't do that right here. Because there's stuff in the way. Oh, hello. Okay, just a random... What even is that? I would say maybe a bathhouse, but no, not really. There's no, like, bathing going on. Okay, are there any other viewpoints nearby? Maybe I should just go to a viewpoint. Or maybe go save a citizen, or something. These random townsfolk are almost as annoying, maybe even more annoying than the guards.
Come on. I've much to say.
You're hurting me.
Hırsızlar garajına müstahak. What are you doing? Following me!
So, like, if I don't get the timing of the counterattack right, it it's like it waits to do the counterattack animation until after the initial attack that I'm trying to counter winds up hitting me. And now this area is going to be a problem spot moving forward, I'd imagine. Checkpoint reached. Okay. I mean, it's saving some stuff that I'm doing, but none of it's actually progressing the game. Other than, you know, from a completionist standpoint. Anyway, viewpoint. That is what I want. Citizen saved. Okay. At least I've got that going for me. That must be the viewpoint. Now what would be the best way to get over there? Seemingly, I climb up here, and then I jump over there. I'm like, no, please do not jump all the way off. Okay. Well, maybe this will, you know, open up some other investigation possibilities, and then I could actually, you know, progress things. I'm gonna have to do some major editing down of stuff. Because I wanted to, you know... I wanted to get all the way through, you know, the necessary investigations. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should just go for another viewpoint, because that informer is only going to be the second of the minimal 3 investigations, which means I'm going to need to reveal some more anyway.
Please, sir, have any money? My family is sick and dying. Could you spare a few coins? Can't you spare something? I'm poor and sick and hungry.
Okay. That's not a good jump spot. Dang it.
I think I've seen everything now.
Can I climb up from here, though? Okay. Didn't exactly mean to do that, but sure, I'll take it. Did not mean to do that.
Odd. Why would he do that?
Nor do I like that happening.
God damn you! Leave me alone! Go away.
Hey, can I climb up here? Maybe. Okay, just... Yeah, there we go. Just get me on that. Really? What the... Okay. At least there's that. Not exactly sure I can climb up this side of the building.
But then the way was made clear to Jubair. He saw what must be done. Understood it fell to him, having learned the truth.
Okay, well, there is that.
He was shown the way, so was I. And I will show you as well.
That's the actual viewpoint. I can't climb it from that side, though. Let me try it from here. And hope nobody decides to, like, start shooting arrows or anything like that. I will say there is a bunch that I can probably edit out, or at least edit down. What with the failed attempts of the Informer's mission. Investigation thing. Hey, there we go. I've got a different Informer and an interrogation. So maybe those will be better options. Let me go for the interrogation first. Oh, hello, there be scholars. Perhaps I shall blend in with the scholars. Or not. I'm also getting pretty close to the informant. Okay, I really cannot stand the pushy dudes.
A false prophet of their lies. But then the way was made clear to Jubair. He saw what must be done. Understood it fell to him, having learned the
All right.
truth, to spread
Here's my
it.
interrogation
And as
target.
He was shown the way, so was I. And I will show you as well. Jubair sees things the way they truly are. Sees the poison you carry in your hearts and minds. He works to cast it out.
Well, at
Remove
least,
all texts from your homes and schools. Give
At least
them
with this
to
one, I
us.
should hopefully be able to, you know,
Must
make
be
some progress. Because it
destroyed.
doesn't really matter much if I get caught. I mean, it's better if I don't, but... Well, I'm not sure what happens if I get caught, you know, between starting to follow him and actually then starting to fight him. Okay, I don't see a ton of people here. I mean, I'm inclined to maybe just... Well, there's a guard. Don't want to start a fight in front of guards.
No, you don't understand. I have nothing. No, you don't understand. I have nothing. Just a few coins. Please, please, sir.
Okay, you know what?
No, please don't. Please. Just a few coins. Please.
Well, at least this place seems to be secluded enough to not get me in trouble with anybody else. Oh, come on. Why am I not punching back now? There we go.
Violence is not the answer, my child.
In this we agree, so speak and I may stay my blade. What is it your master intends? Why destroy all this knowledge?
We lay the stones to build a road upon which soon all men will travel. It leads to a better tomorrow.
That is not what I see.
You are blind. The words upon these parchments, they are poison. Jubair holds the cure. He'll free us from their lies.
It's nonsense you speak. You've lost your mind.
No, not lost, but found. I see the world for what it truly is. He has shown me so much. I am illuminated.
A fanatic is all you are, and dangerous for it.
Do what you must. It changes nothing. We are not afraid.
You should be.
Look just a little bit glitchy there because... Oh, hey. And my informer's right here. Jubair's scholars are destroying all books in Damascus.
Altair, my friend, you have become quite the wanted man, as am I. I must prepare my family for the trip back to the safety of Masayef this afternoon. Could you finish my last assignment in exchange for information? Some men must be eliminated
Darn it.
from Jubair's quarter.
I was really hoping it would be the flag collecting and not the assassination type stuff. Holy cow, and there are 5 targets for this one? Where are these men? I'm getting kind of close to one of them.
What have I done wrong? Tell me, please.
I get the feeling this one's on the rooftops. Or not, because now they're super far away from me. What the heck?
You must not trespass here.
That was a terrible spot to jump from.
No reason to stand here. Leave.
I swear these guys come directly for me. Stop it! Okay, well there's one down. But I've only gotten one in, like, over a minute. So this is not looking good for me. Especially with this annoying piece of crap pushing me around everywhere with no good reason for it. I hate those guys. Seriously, where are these targets? I'm running out of time. Okay, there's got to be one on the rooftops there. But what's the best way for me to get up there?
You, sir. You look like you need something. You'll find it here, I'm sure of it. Good day, my friend. If there's anything I can help you with, anything at all, you like what you see?
Are they just up this way? No.
Just a few coins, please. Please, can't you spare something?
Maybe it's this guy.
Poor and sick and hungry. I beg you.
Trying to sneak up behind. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to absolutely sprint to all the remaining targets
All I ask
because I'm running out of time.
is coins. Could you spare a few coins? I beg of you, just a few.
You are not allowed to be here. Leave. Turn back now.
What is he doing?
That was not one of them. That was just a random guard. Okay.
Where is the one responsible for this? Go away.
Nope, you're not a target either. You're just a random dude. I'm not going to be able to complete this in time.
Where is the one responsible? Go away.
Working on it.
Go away.
Okay. I think I actually do see a little bit how these guys are, you know, dressed a bit differently. Oh, hey, is that my last target there? Alright, well. Have at thee. And now I need to try and get back to my informer. Without getting caught. And that's the issue. Well. Maybe I'm in the clear. Haha!
To see you back so
Still
quickly.
managed it somehow.
I must return to my family, but before I leave, this is for you. I found a map showing where scholars are planning to burn books and other sources of knowledge. Please be careful.
Okay.
And let the future reunite us.
So,
Give your blessings to my
before we knew that they were planning to burn the books, this is detailing where Jubair is planning to burn the books. Okay, and now I could go back to the Bureau and start up the assassination mission memory thing. Okay. Well, that's enough for that recording. When I pick things up, I'll be ready to take on the assassination. The main one. Good golly. That was annoying as all get out, but if I edit out all the failed attempts, or at least most of the failed attempts from the one informer assassination set thing, then, you know, I might actually be able to get it down to a more reasonable length. I would like to do this one other viewpoint just in case there's a big important thing related to the assassination over in this corner here. Then at least I'll have like a decent view of it. Can I climb up here, please? Maybe. Okay. Now I don't have to worry so much about these random people getting in my way at street level. No, come on. The way this game controls sometimes is not particularly helpful either.
Like what you see? What is that man thinking? The infidel king with the assault wipes from the world. We must resist. We must push back.
I can't climb up this thing from there. This is definitely what I need to climb, though. Really? I can't... That makes no sense. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Let me switch around to a different side of this. There we go. Jeez. This is the first game, so, like... I'm not gonna say it's totally just outright forgivable, makes all the sense in the world that it would have issues with some of the core gameplay mechanics, but it's more understandable than it would be for a later game in the series. At least. Okay, really? What? Oh, this is the synchronizing point. Never mind. I thought I was gonna need to climb higher. Oh, and look at that. That revealed more pickpocketing and an eavesdropping. thing. Hang on. Let me check all these phone notifications. See if any of these are text messages or, you know, other things related to what I'm... Yeah, anyway. Sorry, it's not quite a text message, but something I'm noticing that I wanted to respond to. I promise I'm almost done. Okay. Now that that's over, well, shoot, the pickpocketing is practically on the way to the Bureau. So I guess I could try and do that at least. That was a weird camera angle to have. Okay. So yeah, I might try and do the pickpocketing, but otherwise I'm headed back to the Bureau, just in case the other,
We found the place. It's
yeah, just in case the actual assassination mission takes me a while, and or it immediately takes me to some other
a wise course of
story element,
action.
or whatever you want to call it.
Business is done.
Soon, my friend. Soon.
Alright,
Today should see the last of
I'm gonna be sitting up a little bit more.
Boy, come here. You still have the letter I gave you?
No, sitting forward a bit more,
Go and deliver it.
just
then.
because
You'll find the one it's meant for inside the madrasa.
otherwise I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable with my seat. You jerk, quit pushing me around. Okay, pickpocketing done. Acquired letter which states Jubair should be within a garden. Okay, now to the Bureau. What the, why? What got me in trouble there? Whatever. I should be able to find some sort of hiding spot on the way to the Bureau. Like this.
I'm so hungry. Just a little money, I beg of you. I beg of you. I beg of you, just a few coins, please. My family is sick and dying.
Okay.
Could you spare a few coins?
Gonna try and as quickly as I can move along these rooftops. What? Okay. That was weird.
For what we believe in. There is no
And then get myself to the bureau this way. Hopefully I'm not diverting myself too much at the moment. Seems like I'm pretty close now. Yeah! Okay. And that is where I will start the next round of recording. Actually, just to double check that I didn't have any major sound issues once I came over to this... No? Okay. Seems like that's fine. Sometimes, or at least one time not too long ago, when I changed scenes in my live stream, suddenly sound stuff was just ridiculously, like... Basically, my microphone got ridiculously quiet. Anywho, okay. So, without further ado, we resume progress on the next assassination.
What news, Altair? I've learned much about my enemy. Share what you know then. Jubair has become obsessed with purging the city of its knowledge. The most terrible crime. Now I see why Al-Mualim wants you to remove him. He's using the city scholars to assist him. They go out into the streets, harassing the people and collecting all their written works. I fear he intends to destroy them all. He must be stopped. That's why I'm here. He's to hold a meeting soon, at the Madrasa Al-Qallasa. It's where I'll go. It's where I'll take his life.
Oh. I thought he was still, like, holding on to that and was
bring glory to the Brotherhood.
Maybe gonna say more. Okay.
Fast forwarding memory to a more recent one.
So I actually got 4 investigations done instead of just the minimal 3. I did one in between recordings. Preparing for a meeting within the... whatever. Okay. Oh, that's like right smack dab in the middle of everything. That might actually be close to where the one informer was. The one that had more targets that were somehow easier to assassinate, though. Okay. Well, I'm close.
Leave, peasant, before I make you.
I can't get over top of any of this stuff because it's currently recording the memory. There we go.
Every single text in this city must be destroyed.
My friend, you must not do this. Much knowledge rests within these parchments, put there by our ancestors for good reason.
And what reason is this?
They are beacons, meant to guide us, to save us from the darkness that is ignorance.
No, these bits of paper are covered in lies. They poison your minds, and so long as they exist, you cannot hope to see the world the way it truly is.
How can you accuse these scrolls of being weapons? They are tools of learning.
You turn to them for answers and salvation. You rely more upon them than yourselves. This makes you weak and stupid. You trust in words, drops of ink. Do you ever stop to think of who put them there? Or why? No, you simply accept their words without question. And what if those words speak falsely? As they often do. This is dangerous.
You are wrong. These texts give the gift of knowledge. We need them.
You.
Yeah.
Precious writings. You do anything for them?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Then join them.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Any man who speaks as he is just as much a threat. Do any else among you wish to challenge me? Good. Your orders are simple enough. Go out into the city, collect any remaining writings and add them to the piles in the streets. When you're done, we'll send a cart to collect them, that they may be destroyed.
Alright, at what point can I hop into action here? Now? Okay, he went that... Oh, jeez. So I have multiple people I need to kill. Great.
Hey, you look familiar.
Okay. So I guess I need to find those people specifically. They should be wearing something a little bit different than the others. So now I'm gonna have other guards around the city just getting on my case. Because that's part of the difficulty. Okay. Darn it. Oh, hey. I think one of the guys that I'm actually supposed to kill joined in the fray here. Oh my gosh! Why are so many of my counterattacks failing? Doggone it. This is not going particularly well. Oh my gosh! Why are so many of my counterattacks not working? This is completely ridiculous how much I'm failing at this. The combat has not been this difficult at any given point previously. I think I might have at least gotten rid of one of my targets in the meantime. Alright, not gonna worry about trying to save any citizens right now, much as I would normally love to.
No reason to stand.
One of my targets should be up this way, I guess? Yes. But where in particular? Oh.
Good people of Damascus,
Maybe.
you are doing the right thing. Let us cleanse this city of its
Screw you.
poison past. This
Nope.
is a righteous
Can't climb up there. And this dude's just gonna be annoying and push me all over the daggum place.
unity, governed by a single.
What's the point of that even? It's literally nothing but annoying. Is that one of my targets? Okay.
Why? Why have you done this?
Men must be free to do what they believe. It is not our right to punish one for thinking what they do, no matter how much we disagree.
Then what?
You of all people should know the answer. Educate them. Teach them right from wrong. It must be knowledge that frees them, not force.
They do not learn, fixed in their ways as they are. You are naive to think otherwise. It's an illness for which there is but one cure.
You're wrong, and that's why you must be put to rest.
Am I not unlike those precious books you seek to save? A source of knowledge with which you disagree, yet you're rather quick to steal my life.
A small sacrifice to save many. It is necessary.
Is it not ancient
See, yeah.
scrolls that inspire the Crusaders?
I'm not real big on the whole
Saladin and his men
watching
were
them
the
stand
righteous
up
fury.
and,
Their texts endanger
you know,
others.
give their speeches,
Bring death
because
in
they're
their way.
supposed to be
I
dying.
too was making a small sacrifice. It matters
So yeah,
little
definitely
now.
not going to be changing views
And so am I.
for the most part in these scenes. Okay, so he did. But now I'm in trouble. No. Go away. Ah. And now they have added, like, just fist attacks on top of attacking with their swords. Come on. No. Go away. And the, like, environment is also making this more difficult. Okay. Another one gone. No. Let go. Okay. Alright. They're running away. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to flee to the rooftops. Oh. Was that really the only target that I needed to kill? You son of a biscuit farmer. Not only did he fight me with no chance to defend myself, he also made me fall off the roof and get hurt that way. Okay. Oh, so I only needed to kill one person out of all the possible targets? Or did I just pick the right one and get lucky? That was a terrible idea. Somehow didn't get hurt, though, but get me off of this freaking thing. Alright, I'm trying to work my way towards the bureau. I might not be able to actually get in it right now, but I want to at least work towards it. Hey-ya! Okay. Oh, I totally thought I'd be able to grab the ledge on that roof. That's dumb. That is actually just straight up dumb. Yep. There we go. Okay. Really? Screw you guys. That's not the one I wanted to attack. Why would I want to attack the one that's standing when there's one on the ground? No. Let go of me. No. Go away. Okay, he gone. No. Okay, another one dead. I am slowly regaining some bars on the sync meter, though. course there's got to be a covering there. Let me up, please. Or not. Or let me get hit with a freaking stupid rock. Be gone. Okay. Apologies for these slight outbursts. These are kind of high-pressure situations, though. After some events that have already been quite annoying. So it seems like with some of those counters, I have the ability to, like, add an attack after the fact and actually, you know, kind of make it more of a killing blow. Alright. Maybe I can hide in this thing. Make myself anonymous again. And then actually maybe have a chance at getting back in the bureau. Okay. Goody. City's still on high alert, though, so it's not exactly going to be easy. But I'm here. Okay. Goody.
Altair, tell me you've met with success. Yes. Jubair's fires are extinguished. His life as well. Excellent news. I had no doubt you'd succeed. You should have seen it. The scholars followed him so readily. Wasn't just books they fed to fire either, but any man who opposed them. Such ignorance breeds only evil. You've done a good thing this day. As with my other targets, he believed he was doing the right thing, clearing a path to a better future. Of course he would. Such is the landscape of a madman's mind. The things I've seen these past few weeks, it's as if all the land has gone mad. And this is why we fight to end the war, that sanity might return. The people are desperate for direction. It's easy for men like Jubair to prey on this and turn them towards evil. You should go, Altair. Return to Al-Mualim. Tell him what you saw. Let him know the good you've done this day. Safety and peace, Rafiq. Upon you as well.
And that should be the last thing that I need to do in Damascus. At least, well, maybe. I'm making some slight assumptions there, but I'm assuming, you know, with each district in each city getting its own assassination mission, and there not being any more after that.
Use throwing knives to deal with distant enemies.
That's what has me thinking that's all that I really need to do in Damascus.
Welcome home, child. What news?
Another of the named is put to rest.
Then it would appear your work is nearly complete and your status restored.
A question, Master, if I may.
Ask, and I will answer.
Why these men, Jubair and Sabrand?
Ah, don't you see? They paved the way for change. Ensure threats both old and new are not given cause to intervene.
To weaken them is to weaken our enemy. I suppose that makes sense.
Were these men to continue their work, our work would quickly be undone.
How is that? We've caused them much grief.
We strike at the arms, yes, but this is a hydra that you face, and it is quick to replace that which is severed.
Then we should lop off its head and be done with this.
Soon, soon. We are close. Only one more man stands between us and our ultimate goal.
I will return to my work. The sooner this last man dies, the sooner I might face our true enemy.
Before you go, I have a question for you.
Of course.
What is the truth?
We place faith in ourselves. We see the world the way it really is, and hope that one day all mankind might see the same.
What is the world, then?
An illusion. One which we can either submit to, as most do, or transcend.
What is it to transcend?
To recognize nothing is true and everything is permitted. That laws arise not from divinity but reason. I understand now that our creed does not command us to be free. It commands us to be wise.
Do you see now why the Templars are a threat?
Whereas we would dispel the illusion, they would use it to rule.
Yes, to reshape the world in an image more pleasing to them. That is why I sent you to steal their treasure. That is why I keep it locked away. And that is why you kill them. So long as even one survives, so too does their desire to create a new world order. Take your equipment. Seek out this last man. With his death, Robert de Sable will at last be vulnerable.
It will be done.
Safety and peace upon you, Altair.
Okay. While it's not all exactly laid out plainly, they are kind of making some good points. New ability gains short blade expertise. Okay. So wait, which one's the short blade? I don't know. Anyway. Not as sure that I agree with the notion of, you know, what they deem truth and whatnot. I do, however, kind of agree with the idea of, you know, removing any illusion of, you know, what might not be true, and, you know, basically, you know, letting the people find the truth for themselves rather than trying to, you know, cover things up under an illusion and use that to forcefully try and feed a particular, you know, worldview upon people. Anyway.
Altair, it seems my students don't fully understand what it is to wield the blade.
Kind of wanting to get in here just to remind myself of what the short blade even is. Is the short blade just the sword that I normally use? Or is that the... Okay, whatever. It's not going to let me get into the multiple different weapon types here, is it? Okay, whatever. Forget that then.
I understand.
Exit the tutorial.
You must be busy. I understand.
Maybe I just need to get closer to the edge of town before it'll actually let me, you know, look at my different weapon options. Also, is there any kind of shortcut through here that makes it take less time than going down the entire path? Maybe if I start running along some rooftops around here. So far, this is actually making it appear to take longer. So, forget that. I'm just gonna run. This might actually give me a shortcut. Yeah. Not quite the way I wanted to do that, but whatever. Okay, so as far as fighting options are concerned, I have my blade here, got the hidden blade, got the throwing knives, and I've got punching. So yeah, I guess I guess the normal fighting weapon really is the short blade. I mean, it's not like a particularly long sword or anything, so I guess that's why it's called a short blade. Anyway, okay, so I've got one more major assassination, and I think that one's going to be an Acker. And then it seems like that's going to kind of, you know, unlock / reveal the final assassination in Jerusalem, which might be Robert himself. But in any case, yeah.
Preparation.
Gonna head on into Acker here.
Clear the area of archers and guards before confronting your assassination target.
And that will probably actually do it for the episode. Because, geez, really? Just because I happen to, like, bump into a few people while I'm on my horse? I can't get... Really? Why not? One last bit of action before I wrap things up. Or one last lot of action. Come on! I even did the right button combination, it just didn't, like, accept it, I guess. Because I was not facing the right direction? That's the only explanation I can come up with. Seems any kind of reasonable to me. I did the counter too early there, I'll admit that much. So it maybe does kind of sort of allow counterattacks from the enemies. Okay, that dude doesn't really want to fight now. Oh yeah, that's right. Acker, so freaking dull and dreary and dark. Seemingly without much reason. Okay, anyway. Now that I'm not in the middle of a fight, let me go ahead and wrap up the episode. Let's see here. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like 7 tasks away from getting another bar on the meter, on the synchronizing meter, whatever. Well, I was gonna say, I'm sure there's enough stuff to do in here to cover that. And yes, there is. However, I'm not entirely sure how badly I want to do that right now. Okay, so hold up. I did have one other thought, because time-wise, I don't necessarily need to end the stream just yet. No. Okay. I was looking ahead to the next possible Bible study chapter, and it's a bit on the long side, so I'm not quite sure I want to do that this week. So, anyway, with all that being said, I think I'm actually going to wrap up the live stream here, because then I'll have more time to get into some editing and other stuff like that that is also important. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I am going to plan on rating another channel here in a little bit, but just so we're all clear, I do this every week around this time frame. I also stream on Saturday evenings. Time can vary a little bit, but I either start around like 4 p.m. Central or like 7-ish Central Time. Just depends on whether or not I'm doing a particular thing beforehand. Either way, those streams are generally just more casual, just playing a game, engaging with chat, having fun, that kind of stuff. Less so recording content for later usage. So yeah, those are my normal stream times. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another live stream during one of those times or another. My schedule might also change in the near-ish future, maybe the next couple of months, as I'm looking into some other work possibilities. But I'll announce that if and when that happens. So anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another stream. Stick around if you want to be part of the raid. But otherwise, that's going to do it. So, yeah. Till next time, I guess, stay cool, everybody.